Good afternoon, and we're ready to begin. We'll begin with Coach McElwain and the head coach of the SEC Eastern Division champion Florida Gators. Shortly after his press conference, we'll have a photo opportunity with both head coaches, and then Coach Saban will follow. So with that, we'll welcome Coach McElwain, and Coach, opening comment.
Well, first and foremost, it's great to be here, and we're excited to have this Florida Gator football team back in Atlanta. And, our guys have been through a ton this season, and I just can't tell you how proud I am of them. And looking forward to this event. This has been a season of discovery for us from the time we took over about a year ago today, I think. And you know what? It's been a lot of fun, and I can see how much we have to go and how much we have to build. And what's great is we've got the pieces in place. Organizationally is really good. Administratively, an understanding of what direction we need to go, and it's been a lot of fun. So, not really excited about playing these creatures, but that's the way it goes. Questions?
All right, thank you, Coach. If you have a question, we have Emily and Mary Catherine. We'll get a mic. We'll start over here on our right, Coach.
Hey, Mac, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Just wonder, when you break down Reggie Ragland, what do you see on film, and how good of a player has he developed into?
Well, I think you see a guy that has, from the carryover from the front end to the back end and piecing it all together, the importance of those positions in that particular position, making sure everybody's on the same page. You can see the communication, the understanding, what they want to accomplish versus whatever set the other team's in, and then when the ball's snapped, how quickly he gets to it. It's fun to watch.
Okay, we'll go down here in the second row.
Jim, earlier this week you said that you predicted that Treon was going to have a great week of practice. How did that week go for him in practice?
Yeah, I've never really been good at predicting. But no, he's been good. He'll come out and play his tail off, as all our guys will. And I'm excited for him to. It's interesting when we talked as it's been a while for the Gators to be here, to have been here in Atlanta. And when you look around the room, and none of them, I guess you kind of took it for granted there for a while that, well, I just figured these guys knew the routine of this week. And it's been fun. It's been fun to see. Them sitting on every word as to how we're going to do things and go about our business. And you know what, I'm sure excited for them.
Coach, we'll go over here on our left.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
You mentioned it at the top. How surreal is it that today is the 1-year anniversary that it was announced that you would be the new head coach at Florida?
Well, it's gone awful fast. Actually, Jeremy's the one who reminded me of it. And when he was reminding me, I was hoping he wasn't going to tell me it's time to leave, But it's been so much fun seeing the development of the program, of our players, of the people around the program. And when you sit back and reflect just a little bit, we've come a long ways, but how far we're going to go is what's probably the most exciting part of it.
Okay, well, if you go name and affiliation, we'll go back over here to the right.
Chris Walsh, Bleacher Report. Coach, now that you're on the other side of it, what's the toughest thing about facing a Nick Saban team?
Probably knowing how they go about their business. So that's the hardest part. But, as well prepared as you're ever going to be in staff on both sides of the ball. And not necessarily just prepared for the football X's and O's part, but the expectation of how you go about your business throughout the week to get there, the focus on the detail, and it's I guess probably one of the not so good things is I do kind of know a little bit about how they go about their business, and as I say, we're kind of in the discovery phase a little bit. We're getting there, and I just can't tell you how excited we are to be here.
Okay, Coach, we'll go front row over here on our left.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel coach.
And yes, it is. How you doing?
Good.
Good, man.
Alabama's defense, obviously number 2 in the country. A lot of people think they're impenetrable. Your offense hasn't been playing.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wondering, a lot of the armchair quarterbacks say, "Hey, this is where McElwain has to pull out the stops, do something to trick Alabama." I mean, is that possible?
How are you going to trick them? You know, I mean, it's they're complete. It's like when he hired me and said, "Look, Mac, just work hard and be complete in what you do." And the one thing when you watch them play on that side of the ball, they are complete in what they do. And each one of them, they complement each other because they do their job. And where are those explosive plays? I'll just go back and talk about the explosive run reel. That's something that you look at, okay? And in 12 games, there were 14 explosive runs against them. In 12 games. Now, let me explain 2 of those. One of them was a 2-yard loss that happened to be a penalty, so it got on the reel as a gain, okay? The other one, the guy fumbled forward. So realistically, they had 12. And that's impressive. So for us, it's got to be one of those deals where, look, stay out of negative plays and give yourself an opportunity to, just kind of chip away at it a little bit. They are really good.
Okay, we'll go over here on the aisle, front.
Jim, Justin Felder, Fox 5 Atlanta. What do you remember most about coaching on the same staff as Kirby Smart, and what kind of head coach do you think he'll be one day, whenever that day
Well,
may be?
first and foremost, I'm surprised it's taken this long. He is going to be an outstanding coach and head coach. And both of us have had the opportunity to learn from one of the best. And it's not just the football part. Sometimes it's all the things that touches the desk of that head football coach. And that's why the training, I think, is so invaluable. And, there's no doubt whatever it is, he will be a great head coach.
We'll go down left to Edgar.
Yeah, Edgar Thompson, Orlando Sentinel. Since Goldcamp's not here to ask.
Yeah, I was going to say, Edgar, let's start here. Now, are one of these guys taking video for you?
I've gotten a little bit.
Have you? Okay. All right, good. I mean, guys, I don't know that you know Edgar or anything, but here I got to tell you this. I feel for the guy. The guy is his own asking a question, typing the report, and taking video at the same time. I mean, you talk about multi-talented. Awesome.
I don't know about the talented part.
Gotcha.
So since Goldcamp's not here to
Now,
ask
what did
you-
he do? Did he bail out on
I
us?
don't know.
Where's he at?
He's on his way, I'm sure.
Okay. Did we start early?
Possibly.
Do we need to find him for not being here, right?
So who won't be available for the Gators?
You know,
tomorrow?
the only guy I kind of think, and I don't have my sheet in front of me, so I'm not dodging the question. As you know, I don't. Brandon Powell was in a boot all day yesterday. That means it's something with his lower foot, probably. Okay. I'm trying to think. Who do you have questions on, I guess? Yeah, he's out. Yeah. You know what? I would be surprised if he didn't give it a go. I don't know how 100% he is, but this just means so much to him that, I'm going to say he's probably going to jump in there and not let us take him out.
And
Sharp that'd be questionable still. I didn't think he looked very good yesterday.
the other question, the defense, even Joey Ivey admitted, took a peek at the scoreboard the other night in the fourth quarter, kind of lost hope a little bit. How's that unit bounced back? And really, was that kind of the first time you've seen them get a little bit demoralized out there?
I saw them do some things that normally they haven't done. And yet, you know what, that's human nature. And here's the thing, we got an opportunity to learn from it. And, we had a pretty good week practice.
Okay, we'll go over here to our right along the aisle.
Hey, Coach. Mo Carter from Alabama News Network in Montgomery. Now, of course, when you were under Coach Nick Saban, you were here multiple times at the SEC Championship. Now that you're on the other side of things with the Florida Gators, what has been really the message that you've been preaching to your players about getting here and playing for a championship?
Well, one of the things when you're at a place like the University of Florida, our players, when they came to the University of Florida, the expectation is to be in this game. Those are the type of players that are choosing to come to Florida, ones that expect to play in this game. And I guess what I'm so excited about more than anything is the opportunity for this program to be back in Georgia and back in the Dome and playing for an SEC championship, which, guys, let's not take that lightly. That's pretty cool. And I'm excited to see our guys, even just in walk through here, just see them kind of look around. And it's pretty neat.
Okay, we'll go over here to our left, second row.
Hey, Coach, Mike Neighbors, Cox Sports Television. You're the biggest underdog since the mid-1990s in this SEC championship game. Do you use that as motivation? Do you rally around that, or do you ignore it? How do you approach that with your players?
Well, as I answered before, I feel sorry for whoever was the biggest, I guess, underdog, if we're only the second biggest. But, so what exactly is that? I don't know. We have an opportunity to go play the game. Everybody in this conference, their goal is to get to Atlanta, right? And you know what? The Florida Gators are in Atlanta. I'm okay with that.
All right, we'll go over here to the right, second row.
Hey, Coach Michael Casagrande, AL.com.
Hey, Michael, how are you,
Jim.
bud?
Never better.
Good.
Just wanted to ask about Derrick Henry. You don't see too many guys who are 6'3".
Well, okay, so you've never been better, and now you're asking me about Derrick Henry. You're making me miserable right now. Go ahead.
Sorry. You don't see many 6'3", almost 6'4" guys out there as a running back. I mean,
No.
What makes that unique and special?
Well, his size, not only height, obviously how he carries, the weight that he carries. But here's the amazing thing is the amount of yards after somebody had first tried to tackle him. And I said tried because they weren't very successful. His amount of yards after contact are amazing. Now, what I see is I see a guy, even going back as we doing our breakdowns a couple years, I see a guy who has gotten better at a lot of the other things. I think his blocking's outstanding. He's becoming check him on the screens and the checkdowns. He's becoming really a complete player, and all the things people are saying about him are all true. The guy's a real player and a real guy, and we got our hands full with that one.
Okay, we'll go back over here to the left.
Hey, Coach, Steve Nissom, WEAR Pensacola. What's been your impression of Jake Coker and kind of how he's progressed and what he's been able to do for
Yeah,
him?
he's the one that kind of makes that thing go. I mean, his confidence in the pocket, where he's going with the football, you can see that through his accuracy. He's doing a great job of changing launch points for him, and he knows when to take his shots. I think that's the one thing. He's playing the position like he should play. In other words, he's not giving it to the other team. And he's being very accurate on the throws that they're asking him to make. And, it looks to me like he's been there, 5 years, the way he's playing and the command he's playing with.
Okay, we'll go all the way to the back on the right.
Nick Delatorre, Gator Country. How's it going,
So
Coach?
did you lose the lottery? How'd you get that seat? Normally you're up front. What happened?
I showed up late.
Okay, I got you. Didn't you know you're supposed to sit in the front of the classroom?
Yeah, and Chris has my coffee.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You guys welcome back DeMarcus on Wednesday. How did he respond Wednesday, Thursday, and coming back to the team?
Well, I think, he made a choice, and we'll see how he does. He'll get a few snaps out there, and it's really interesting. You make something of things that, look, at some point in everybody's life, you got an opportunity to help. And one thing, as I've said all along, I think he's come as far as anybody has in this program. And he continues to learn. And it'll be fun to see him come out here and play.
We'll go to the middle section, about 3/4 of the way back.
Hey, Coach, right here, red shirt.
Hey.
There you go.
Dan Matthews, Score Atlanta. Just the challenge for you guys trying to run against their stout defensive front seven, but also, though, as a head coach, being able to watch your front seven go up against theirs and vice versa.
Yeah, when you turn on the film, the first thing you kind of go to is to see who's dominating the line of scrimmage, one side or the other. And that usually is the upper hand. You know, the one thing I noticed, maybe even more so than when I was at Alabama, is the depth, the number of guys they have in that front seven. And, you know, it's really something that speaks to what you need now as you build your team because of all these, you know, fast-paced teams, you know, keeping guys fresh and being able to put them in. You know, coaches recognized that and obviously beefed up that position to the point there's no drop-off, you know, when those guys go in there. So, you know, our guys have done a pretty good job, our own front, throughout the year. And what I've seen from them, and Coach Rumpf has done a great job with them, is understanding the importance of truly doing your job. Because what happens sometimes to those guys is they're going to make some play. But as soon as you do that, that's when you give up a home run. That's when you give up a big play. So I would say in both fronts' case, the discipline in which they play with really stands out.
Okay, we'll go over to our right on the aisle.
Hey, Edward Ashoff,
Hey, Edward.
ESPN.com. How you doing? Going back to DeMarcus, what was the reason for making the team or the seniors have the decision with him coming back, even after you said
It's a
how
family
disappointed you
decision.
were?
It's a family decision.
And also the running game. What have you seen from Kelvin this season as far as his maturation and
Well,
development?
what he's done, I think, and he keeps getting a little bit better at it, is understand the patience he needs to the hole and then accelerate with speed through the hole. And, you know, I think early he was, you know, he's running so hard and so fast, sometimes he wasn't letting things develop, and I think he's done a much better job of that. And obviously his numbers, he's you know, I think done some things that'll put him right up there historically as one of the, you know, real great Florida running backs.
Okay, we'll stay in the same section right next door there.
Coach Dwayne Rankin, Montgomery Advertiser. Talked to Jonathan Bullard at SEC Media Days, and he was asking about you. How quickly can you turn it around? And he said, I hope this year, because this is my last year.
Right, yeah.
Just how vital has this senior class been when you guys get in here?
I'm glad you asked that, because these seniors have committed more to the cause, and the cause being, how do we affect each other in a positive way so we get the results, the desired results that we want. And, you know, to see what those guys have been through for their senior, you know, going into their senior year. And now, as I said before, I'm sure every single one of those seniors expected to be in this game more than a couple times during their career. And I can't tell you how happy I am for them to have this experience, because I know the couple experiences I've had, it's something that you remember for the rest of your life. And that's what makes me real happy. And for a guy like Bullard, who has really, especially here late in the year, has done so much to give of himself, man, for this team, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, we'll stay in the same section, 2 rows back.
Hey, Coach, I'm Ken Rogers
Yeah.
with the Dauphin Eagle.
Yes, you are.
How you doing? One thing that I was always struck with when the few times we got to talk to you in years past was
So aren't you lucky?
yeah, was how competitive practice would be. You know,
Yeah.
you versus Kirby and all. Have you instituted some kind of that kind of competition with
Yeah.
with Nuss and Coach Collins
And Jeff,
as well?
yeah. I think the one thing we do is we do a lot of good on good work, and that's something that we really kind of got from Coach and we did it at Colorado State too. And I think, speed on speed, competition on competition helps you get a little bit better. And, I've got to say our team run drills against each other, they're pretty fun. And but I think that's what it does is it kind of sets your path, sets your mindset going into the game. As far as, from a staff standpoint, the one thing, and Coach was big on this too, each part of the team is responsible for each other. And whatever you can do to help win the game in your particular area is something that it was. So it's never competitive. It becomes competitive on game day, I'll tell you that.
We'll go back over here to Mike on the left.
Yeah, Coach. Couldn't it be a big advantage for you guys that yourself, Coach Nuss, and Coach Rump were on Coach Saban's staff? You might know some of the tendencies and the company secrets, if you will.
Yeah. That's the beauty. There really aren't any secrets. That honestly, it's something that's out there for everybody in this room, for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, to be successful. They aren't secrets. Now, they're qualities that take a lot of discipline and self-drive to achieve. And I think the magical secret is he's been able to move an entire organization in 9 years, one that was probably floundering around a little bit when they got there, to arguably the most consistent college football program in the country. And the secrets are right there in front of you. The deal is, do we choose to do them? That's the deal. And he's been able to motivate people to do it.
So you're saying that's not an advantage for you guys to have coached under?
Screwed up I am anyway, so.
Also, one other question. What about running Treon more? Is that an option in this game?
Yeah, he may be running anyway, just naturally for his life, right? So, no, that's something, quarterback run-wise, they're created sometimes. We've done it a little bit. Probably not something that's let the scrambles happen. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go in the middle section here. All right.
Hey, Jim, Barrett Sully, Bleacher Report. I was actually going to ask the same question about Treon, but Antonio Callaway for you guys.
Yeah.
How impressed have you been with him on special teams and as a receiver, and how important has he been for you as a first-year guy?
Well,
his first year.
Here's what he did: was he actually he didn't allow. This is a talented guy, first of all, and fun to be around. And as soon as he got on campus, and they started to go out and run their self-skellies and one-on-ones and all that, he was one that immediately stood up that it wasn't too big for. And he loves the competition. And in turn, what that's done is elevated some people around him in that receiver core. And this is a guy that this conference is going to hear about for a while to come, and rightfully so. Not only what he does as a receiver, but obviously as a return guy. He's energized us, and he is a true playmaker. He's a get-it-to guy, and we're going to try to make sure he gets his touches.
Okay, we have time for about one more if anybody's got a final question. Got Scott Rabelais here in the back.
Scott Rabelais with the Baton Rouge Advocate. Jim, it's been said that coaches in this conference have a Nick Saban problem. Do you count yourself in that number?
A Nick Saban problem? What's wrong with him?
No, that the success that, as you mentioned, he's had at Alabama makes it harder, puts more pressure on other coaches in the conference to succeed.
No, I don't think so, because the way we're all, it doesn't matter in this profession. You're driven to do the best you can. I mean, that's what it's all about. And I just know how fortunate I was to be a part of kind of seeing what that standard is all about, maybe, and how he goes about it. But yeah, I don't see it as a problem. I think the guy's a pretty good coach. Does a pretty good job. So.
Thank you, Coach McElwain.
Thanks.
We'll take a brief intermission and